Hi there folks, my name's NovaWrap24 and welcome to the NovaWrap, your one-stop location for your simulation release news and goings on from the week that was. Alrighty folks, this is the news for Sunday the 20th of November 2016 and we're going to jump straight into it this week with a release for the XPlane World. So, a senior release for the XPlane World. We saw KLAX, or Los Angeles International for those who aren't familiar with it, though it is the gateway to the Pacific, so I think we all are kind of familiar with KLAX these days. Anyway, so this is a release for XPlane 10. And this comes to us from the team of Funner Flight. So I've been producing some pretty cool scenery over the last few years, and this is an incredibly stunning rendition of KLAX. It really, really is. To give you an idea of the scale that the development team here have actually done here, there's over 13,000 custom objects included, custom slash generic objects that are included to make this scenery come to life. That is batshit insane, not going to lie. Anyway, it's a fully living, breathing airport with over 100 animations, as well as all the objects in there, as well as wind rules for the ATC, for the taxi, wind rules for the ATC for taxi routes and for all 4 runways for the airport, which is kind of cool. And I must admit, one of those challenging things for the old ESP platforms, that's for sure. So really cool to see that implemented in the X-Plane world. It comes with over 20 square miles or approximately 20 square miles of high-definition aerial photography included, as well as some incredibly detailed objects and the docking systems and all the gates as well. So looking pretty damn awesome and looking stunning visually both during the day and at night. So this is available now from your X-Plane dealer for $24.95 US or your regional equivalent, available now. Alright, continuing with scenery releases, but this time in the ESP world. So the guys over at Tropical Sim, who are famous for bringing us some Latin American destinations, have come back and they've provided a reboot of their Faro airport. So, which is Aeroporto Internacional de Faro, which is in the west of Portugal. So this airport, it's a little outside of their normal Latin American range. Of course, being in Europe, but still keeping with the language similarity. Anyway, but yeah, so it comes through. It's a really quite a high detailed airport. This one here, for a recently expanded airport. So looking pretty cool. Previously, they had done this for FS9, but they've now fully updated this one to be compatible across the ESP range, including FSX and P3D, and it's all its various forms. We complete with some beautiful photoreal scenery, as well as very detailed custom autogen and custom airport buildings, so looking quite cool. Full integration of SODE animated jetways as well, including updated car park layouts and buildings, so looking pretty nice, particularly with the glass buildings at night. That looks kind of cool. So yeah, pretty cool that one is there. So yeah, that one is available now from your favorite flight sim retailer, available now for around about $25 US or your regional equivalent, available now. Continuing on with scenery releases for the ESP world, so the guys over at Aerosoft have released their Genoa X. So the march of the Italian airports continues with Genoa. So Genoa is one of the a very famous city in Europe, and is used extensively. This particular airport is used extensively by low-cost carriers. And the airport is kind of cool because it's actually not built. It's built on an island, a man-made island that was actually dredged up and built for the airport, which is kind of cool. There's a few airports around the world like that, so it always gives it a very interesting look, and it can actually make a bit of a challenging for scenery developers. But I think the guys over at Aerosoft have done a really incredible job with this one. So incredibly detailed high-res photo reel with this one, as well as over 80,000 autogen buildings including various custom models. A lot of details gone into not just the airport, but the surrounding city and the harbours of Genoa as well, which is always nice to see, and gives you that better experience, which is looking pretty cool. As I said, a huge number of custom objects, including some things to bring your sim to life, such as trucks, buses, airports, airport equipment, as well as static aircraft and static boats as well, and dynamic boats, I believe, as well, included in this one as well. They've got a huge sort of integrated some of the aerosoft extras, including like a visual guiding docking systems to work for when you're coming in to the jetways, as well as custom animations for the airport and various additions as well, and a full integration of 4K textures as well. One of the cool things about Genoa is that its ILS, excuse me, into runway 28 is actually offset by 2 degrees. It's one of those challenging approaches, so it's really cool, and just as I said, it's a really cool little thing to try for a really awesome, like a very beautifully detailed airport. This one. So this one's available now from Aerosoft directly or from your favorite flight sim retailer. Available now. Alrighty, continuing on with yet more scenery releases this week. So returning back to the world of Latin America and South America. So the guys over at Mag Mexico have released a cityscape this time. So this cityscape's a bit interesting. I mean, it's around about sort of $16 the original equivalent. So this is for the city of Tijuana, which is in Baja California, which is essentially just the northern tip of Mexico and sort of right on the border of California. And sort of like the sister city of San Diego, just like right next to each other. The airport itself is kind of cool because it's got a cross-border it's got the CBX or cross-border express. So basically, part of the airport is over on the US side of the border, so you can check in there. Anyway, but this isn't the airport. This is purely just the cityscape. For Tijuana and a little bit of San Diego as well. So this is full photoreal, that kind of stuff. The thing that's a little disappointing for me, and the thing that I often struggle with a lot of photoreal scenery, is the fact it's flat. Like it's dead flat. There's no it wipes out the buildings, so that it's just it looks really cool from like 30,000 feet. But when you're on short final, it's kind of like, well, the world looks a little flat. So it appeals to some people, not to others. So yeah, if it is for you, and you do want to add this very high res photoreal city of Tijuana Airport. Of the city of Tijuana, then this could be for you. As I said, it does, anecdotally, it does save on frames because it's not trying to render all the auto-gen, so there you go. And it is designed to work with Taxi to Gates Tijuana Airport, so it is designed to work seamlessly with that, so there you go. Available now from your favorite flight sim retailer, as I said, for around about $15 or your 15, $16 dollars, the original equivalent. Available now. In another scenery release this week, we saw a China airport released this week. So we saw the Zhuhai Jinwan Airport, Zulu Golf Sierra Delta. So this one has been released. This airport serves the city of Zhuhai in the Guangdong province in China. I'm sure I got pronunciation of that wrong. Anyway, so the interesting claim to fame for this airport is that it actually hosts the largest air show in mainland China. So the China International Aviation Aerospace Exhibition, which is on every year, also known as Airshow China or the Zhuhai Air Show. As I said, it's been held every even year, so every second year since 1996, and this airport, this scenery includes not only the airport as it normally appears in its day-to-day, but also as in air show mode, where you actually get to see as it looked like in this year in 2016, with a whole heap of like static displays of various aircraft from around the world, all included there, including the Russian Knights and the Royal Air Force Red Arrows there as well. This airport visually looks quite stunning as well. This seems to be done by a single guy, Shen Kuai. So yeah, really kind of cool and really kind of impressive looking scenery, this one. And China's a place that hasn't been, it's starting to get a bit of love from developers. And yeah, this one is coming in at around about 25 US dollars. It's coming in is pretty detailed and pretty good looking for that, and gives you a nice little alternative airport to fly to in China. So yeah, available now from your favorite flight sim retailer. Available now for your China aviation pleasure. Alrighty, continuing on in the world of flight simulation, but this time over to aircraft releases. We didn't see a lot of aircraft releases, but we did see one for the guys for the XPlane users. So this week we saw the release of the Extra 330 SC. Now, I personally love the 330 SE. I've got it for F6 Steam Edition, and I did a review of it a little while ago, and I absolutely love it. But this is a completely different version. This one's just for X-Plane, and I just think the airplane itself is really cool and really exciting and a buck ton of fun to fly. And it's also, the world champion aerobatic aircraft currently for the last 4 years running. The 330 SEs are, and a competitor in the Red Bull Air Race series. So yeah, it's kind of cool, kind of interesting. This one comes to us from Vertigo Studios, and this detail of this model is insane. Like the shine and the panel details and the skin details of the aircraft is just holy bejesus, this is incredibly detailed. And I really start to see why friends like my fellow YouTuber Belgeo and Castrator really love their X-Plane, because although the basic X-Plane can be really bit but some of the stuff quality you can do with it is absolutely insane and really incredible. But yes, this model of the Extra 330 SC is incredibly detailed flight dynamics, as has been developed in conjunction with an actual Red Bull Air Race pilot who flies this aircraft. So, and apparently it's got his sign off. So that says a lot for the detail of the flight model. Incredibly detailed 3D model, impressive 4K textures with this one as well. Looking absolutely amazing. So yes, available now from your favorite flight sim retailer for around about 25 to $30 available now. Alrighty, moving on and moving away from the world of flight simulation into the land of the permanent way. So we saw a few releases for the world of train simulator this week. So the first one we saw was the release of a new route, so the South Wales coastal Bristol to Swansea route. So this route has got quite a significant history, of course reaching its peak during the when coal mining was the biggest and largest industry and export to come out of Wales for many years. Of course, it's seen a bit of a decline over the last sort of 20 years or so as the coal industry's fallen off, but still serves as a very important passenger and freight route for other things that are produced in that area. So yes, very lively and active route. So this one includes over 85 miles of track, including the very detailed rendition of the Severn Tunnel, which connects England and Wales. and goes conjunction beside the M4, I believe. But yes, getting it all together. So this one, as I said, comes with the 85 miles of the train train track. It comes with 4 trains for you to use and experience this one. So various British Rail ones. So we got the Class 175, the 67, the 70, and the 43 in various different liveries, along with a whole heap of rolling stock to go with that as well, with various container wagons, mail vehicles, ballast steels, all sorts of fun stuff. You get 10 full career scenarios included with this one as well as you with your mail and freight rolling stock and your trains, and is as usual fully compatible with quick drive and fully compatible with Steam Workshop scenarios as well for expansion. So looking pretty damn cool, and you get a lot in this pack for the $40 US, the original equivalent that you get for this one. And looking very impressive and very kind of cool for this setup. Available now for Train Simulator 2017, available now on Steam. Alrighty, we also saw this week another thing from the Train Simulator, the marketplace. So we saw the RHB Enhancement Pack. So this is a add-on pack that is essentially a campaign or a mission pack for the Albula Line St. Moritz to Thusius route, which is released earlier this year. So this gives you 3 different career scenarios for that one, as well as some additional rolling stock and different color schemes for your RHB GE44 train that you get included for this one, as well as a few updated and different equipment to go with your vehicles, as well as various destinations and things like that. And interesting, and an additional increase or addition of some temporary speed restriction signage to be put in there as well. So yeah, kind of interesting. Fully quick drive compatible. But yeah, as I said, this is a mission pack add-on and an add-on enhancement pack for the Albula line. So if you don't have that line, you shouldn't bother trying to get this one. So there you go. Yeah, good looking, pretty cool. And as I said, just the temperature restrictions sort of to give you some updates for the fact that there's some maintenance going on the track. So yeah, it gives you a sort of puts things on a bit more challenging to go through your things. So there you go. All right. So yes, this pack is available now for $20 or your original equivalent. Available now on Steam. Alright, in other release for the Train Simulator world this week, we saw a new train released, a new EMU. So we saw the Chris Trains, which was been released through Just Trains, has released his Stadler Flirt 3. So no, it's not looking to ask you out on a date. It's actually an acronym. I learned when I was doing the research for this. It stands for Flinker Lecter Innovative Original Trebzig. No idea what that means, but anyway, either way, it is an acronym. So yes, it's designed for use. It's designed and built by a Swiss train manufacturer, Stadler, for use primarily on the in the Netherlands, but is also used in Germany and in Switzerland as well. A very popular train, very widely produced train for this one. It gives very airy cabin, and very detailed versions of this one has been included as well, including three different versions with the NS 2200 series, 2500 series, and the RNet series as well. So looking pretty cool with this one, and it does actually change the type of cockpit that you have as well. Is it a cockpit or a cabin? I don't know. I really should ask Matt Paddleson what that is, because I really don't know. Anyway, but yeah, it's got different interiors based on which region it's going to be working in, whether it's going to be in the German, the Swiss region, or whether it's going to be in the Dutch region. Will change what type of train protection system it has, and change the layout of your cabin. So yeah, that is kind of cool. It does include some very beautiful graphics for this one, as well as a fully working passenger information display from the second class passenger view as well. So it is designed to be fully compatible with Quick Drive. It doesn't have any scenarios, but it is able to be placed into your own custom scenarios should you create them. So this one's available now from the guys over at Just Trains. So the terrestrial version of the old Just Flight guys, available now for $17 or your regional equivalent, available now. Alright, moving on to other releases for this week. So this week we saw almost like a grand battle happen. So for those older simmers like myself, you may remember a series called Roller Coaster Tycoon. So this was like, in the heyday of Tycoon and sort of, like construction management simulator type games, where you sort of had to build a city or build a scenario or something of, whether it be roller coasters or hospitals or all sorts of stuff. Anyway, Roller Coaster Tycoon sort of dominated the world for a long time. It had three very successful, very popular iterations over the years, and then the original guys who actually produced it were the guys over at Atari was publisher, and the production actual house was actually Frontier Games, which of course, as we know, have gone on to make Elite Dangerous. So anyway, about 18 months ago or so, it was announced that Atari would be producing a new version called Roller Coaster Tycoon World, would be the updated one. And then, so almost simultaneously, the guys over at Frontier announced that they were stepping back into the Roller Coaster world by announcing that they were going to be producing Planet Coaster. So anyway, basically, these two have both been in sort of beta early access for a few months now, and they have both hit our simulation world almost like within a day of each other. So we saw Roller Coaster Tycoon World released first, and that one's popped out, and You kind of would. We're expecting it to come with the pedigree, because it's from the established publisher. Maybe not the development team, but established publisher. So it's all working there. It's got full native workshop support for that one. Available, so you can build your own roller coasters, build your own theme park, and it touts that it's got a very powerful and very easy and very intuitive roller coaster editor, and also customization support as well, so you can actually create your own buildings and put your own 3D models in there as well, very, very easily, and share them with the community through Steam Workshop. However, it has been received horribly. Like, it has been slated as absolutely horrible, essentially as Roller Coaster Tycoon 3, which was 4 or 5 years ago. Basically that, and not much has changed. It's been slated. It's horrifying, the reviews I'm reading. It's just wow. Anyway. So yeah, it's available now. It's out. Now, as I said, the following day we saw Planet Coaster get released. So Planet Coaster's by Frontier Games. Now Frontier, currently their claim to fame is Elite Dangerous. So for space sim, so this is about as far away from a space sim as you can possibly get. However, they are also the studio behind the previous Roller Coaster Tycoon games. So they've come out with something. They've come out with Planet Coaster, and visually, it looks insane. Wow! Absolutely incredible. It just leaves Roller Coaster Tycoon World in the absolute dust when it comes to visuals. That's for sure. It doesn't also have any of extra DLC content, which Roller Tycoon World, God, I'll get it right in a minute, has. It's just a straight release price, that's it, done, it's all there. Again, still has the full modding support, has the full very easy construction, very sort of, piece by piece construction, but it looks so much better and seems to run so much better. Bearing in mind the hardware requirements are insanely higher, just FYI, so caution on that one. But yeah, it just looks so much cooler. Looks so much more amazing. Now I don't play these titles, and I would be love to hear from you guys who do, and let me know what you think, especially if you've played both. But yeah, just comparing the reviews and just watching a couple of playthrough videos on YouTube, seriously, yeah, Planet Coaster just seems to be absolutely light years ahead of Roller Coaster Tycoon, which for nostalgic reasons is a bit of a shame, but at the same time it's really good. It means that the genre is developing and going on. As I said, it comes from the developer team behind it. Anyway, so Planet Coaster is available now for $45 or your regional equivalent, available now on Steam. Alrighty, moving on to other releases for the simulation world this week. So, we saw the guys over for racing simulators. We saw the guys over at Automobilista, the Brazilian team. They released their Legendary Tracks Part 1 Imola. Now, Imola track for me is really kind of emotional. So, I've been a huge fan of F1 for many, many years. And I actually remember, and for those who've been following F1 for a long time, Imola is sort of a bit infamous for a series of crashes throughout the 80s, and a lot of very classic races were hosted there. And then sadly, when Ayrton Senna died, it sort of it was sort of beginning of a lot of changes in the F1 world, including fundamentally the design and the layout of the Imola track. The Imola track was actually completely redesigned and the high-speed Tamborilla corner was completely redesigned, and chicanes were added to it to actually slow the vehicles down. So for the 2001 season, so yeah, it's a very very nostalgic track for me. This one, a lot of history here for me growing up watching the F1. So yes, but you can now race this track in Automobilista, and it is updated the latest 2016 version of the track, including the flat-out section from the exit of Rivazira all the way to Tumbarilla chicane. So yeah, looking pretty damn cool. This sim is not. It's not as visually spectacular as some of the others out there, but I think it overall is providing a lot of solid content. So this Legendary Tracks Part 1, obviously part of a series they're going to be releasing. Available now for $6 on Steam. Available now for your racing simulation pleasure. Alrighty, in other releases this week. So we saw another one of those Sims for everything kind of Sims at the moment. So we saw Timber, the logging experts, release this week. So yeah, look, this one's a pretty basic sim. It's like $7, so don't expect a whole heap from this. Very basic. It describes itself as a lightweight forestry simulation that you don't have to do a whole lot to learn to get the basics and get it on to going on to. You've got a variety of different machinery, whether it be pulling trees down, chainsawing them down, or whether it be loading the logs onto the back of trucks and transporting them for processing. So you've got a few different things here. Very much more of an arcade style simulation. This one with a variety of machines for you to master. But yeah, quality, visually not the most outstanding. Would love to hear from anybody who has played it to see what they think of this one, because as I said, it seems to be fairly small scale, and it's not a huge cost, so if you want something different, it might not be a bad thing for you to have a look at. Anyway, but yes, available now for $7 or your original equivalent, available now on Steam. Alright, continuing on, this time with a sporting release and the VR sporting release. So this is Final Goalie Football Simulator. So, well, okay, Football Simulator is probably the wrong term for this one. It's a goalie simulator. You're the goalkeeper. So you go through, it presents a whole heap of different challenges. This is a VR only title, and at the moment is only compatible with HTC Vive. No word yet on whether they'll be supporting Oculus. This one is designed to be played in a room scale, sort of in about a sort of a 3 square meter play area, and it's basically composed through, so you can go through a simulator mode where they've got a whole heap of motion captures from actual players kicking balls and stuff, where they actually put it through there, so you can go through and defeat the 150 levels where you face teams from around the world, or you can go through with an arcade mode, which basically puts you throwing like multiple balls, like kicking or shooting multiple balls at you, and you've got to like intercept balls with other balls and get points and sending them back and all sorts of cool stuff. So yeah, the arcade mode's cool. But what's really bizarre and really kind of cool that's actually perked my interest is a multiplayer Vive versus mobile. Basically, they've released a companion app available for Android and iOS, where you can actually get your friends can actually jump on their smartphone and they can kick the balls to you, like using the touchscreen interface. And you see the ball come at you, and they see you react to it like in real time. Like, the network bandwidth must be phenomenal, but that is just so cool, so weird, so cool, and a really awesome way to do like multi-platform. And I think that's kind of cool. Like, it's a different way of looking at multiplayer, and I think it's kind of cool. it's actually making me want to get a room scale VR setup for Vive just so I can actually get and then find someone to get this mobile app so I can do this because I think that'll be hilarious. But the Vive hasn't quite been released in Australia yet, so maybe when it is, which is very very shortly, and maybe I will invest in that. Anyway, but yes, if final goalie, if you always want to do be a goalie and or practicing skills or get a bit of a workout going on, Final Goalie Football Simulator might be the sim for you. Available now, it's a really good price as well, only $10 available now on Steam. Alrighty, in more VR releases this week, so we saw the final release of Firma. So Firma's been in early access for a little while. But is now released to full release. So this is a sort of a spaceflight arcade style simulator. Essentially, you take on the role of a courier and sort of moving around, taking packages from point A to point B. And on Mars, and you get to explore things, and it's kind of cool. As I said, it's another one that is requires a VR. There's no non-VR option for this one. It goes through a whole distance, so you can go through deliver your packages, you can go through obstacle challenges, you can go through do tricky deliveries down like mine shafts, and all sorts of fun stuff. Looking kind of cool and kind of interesting, and for the price tag, the graphics wise and the price tag, looking pretty good balance there. So available now. $13 available now on Steam. Alrighty, and rounding out the simulation releases for this week, so we saw the full release and the exiting out of early access of Shenzhen IO. So Shenzhen IO is it's one of those. I really like the fact that there's a few games coming out these days which are sort of simulators or other type games that are coming out that actually have an educational sort of element to them as well. So Shenzhen IO is basically about teaching you about how to build electric circuits and how to write code for things like for logic gates, microcontrollers, LCD screens, and all sorts of stuff. And the other cool part as well, I'm not going to lie, is the tagline of it is Shenzhen IO, build circuits, write code, RTFM, read the fucking manual. I love that phrase. It's so important. Seriously, it's one of my most common phrases I get to tell people. Anyway, but yeah, you get various different missions and challenges assigned to you from if you're your new employer, Shenzhen Longteng Electronics Company Proprietary Limited, in the electronics capital of the world. You get to do you got a whole manual. You get to be creative. You get to do something that you want to do, but at the same time you're learning. So this is a really really kind of cool thing, and it has like a mini game of an updated version of Solitaire in there just for fun. If you want to see some really cool builds of this and see this in action, I highly recommend Scott Manley. I know he's normally known for Kerbal Space Program, but he's done some really cool videos on Shenzhen IO as well, so I highly recommend you have a look at that. But yeah, really kind of cool, fun way of actually sort of teaching some actual good skills. So there you go. Who said gaming can't be educational? Anyway, yes, available now, $15, or your original equivalent, available now on Steam. Alrighty, folks, that does now round out the NovaWrap for this week. Now, just to let you know, folks, there will be no NovaWrap next week, as I am once again heading off to do crazy stupid things. I'm heading off to do another Spartan Trifecta weekend. So apparently, in my insanity, getting 2 Spartan Trifectas this year was not enough for me. I did the Hawaiian Spartan Trifecta weekend back in August. I did throughout the year. I've done the Australian Trifecta, finishing off with my Spartan Beast in Brisbane in September. Apparently now I've decided that no, that wasn't enough insanity. I'm going off now down to Bright in Victoria, and I'm going off to do the inaugural Spartan Trifecta weekend, the first one there. It's the first Trifecta weekend they're running in Australia, so I'm heading down there next weekend. So I'm going to be, when you're all expecting the news, I will be like dying after having run over 42 kilometers over 2 days, through like over 90 obstacles over the course of the 2 days. So yeah, I am insane. I really am. Anyway, so yes, there will be no NovaWrap next week, folks. Just bear that in mind. We will be back the following week. Just bear that in mind. Alright, folks, thank you very much for joining me once again. Thank you, as always, for joining me. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel if you're enjoying these videos and want to see more. And, of course, as always, you can catch up with me and all the things I'm up to between videos by finding me on Facebook and on Twitter. Just search NovaWing24. Alright, folks, thanks very much for watching. Take care, safe skies to all, and we'll see you next time.